Okay, let's dive right in. For a long time now, marketers have kind of looked at Reddit as this high-risk, high-reward playground, right? But something has fundamentally changed. And we're not just talking about a new social media strategy. We are talking about how conversations happening on Reddit are, right now, actively training Google's AI and rewriting the very rules of search visibility.
And if you need one single reason to pay attention, here it is. Get this. Since the beginning of 2024, Reddit's visibility in Google search has shot up by over 200%. That means threads from Reddit are popping up everywhere, in AI overviews, in the perspectives filter, and all over page 1, often outranking huge, established brand websites. This isn't just a trend, it's a tectonic shift in how search works.
So, what lit the fuse on this explosion? Well, it wasn't an accident. Back in February 2024, Google and Reddit announced this massive data licensing deal. It gave Google's AI direct API access to literally the entire history of human conversations on Reddit. OpenAI saw what was happening and jumped in with a similar deal. And this shows a crystal clear cause and effect. These partnerships opened the floodgates, letting AI models learn from one of the biggest, most authentic archives of human conversation on the entire planet. So in this Explain It, we're going to break it all down. First, we'll dig into why Reddit is just dominating search right now. Then, we're going to debunk some of those old Reddit SEO myths that just don't work anymore. We'll get into the real mechanics of how Reddit is training Google's AI, and then I'll give you a strategic blueprint you can actually use. And finally, we'll land on the single most important idea here: community, not clicks.
So, let's kick things off with Reddit's newfound dominance, and really, the why behind these raw, authentic conversations suddenly leapfrogging all that polished corporate content. Well, the answer comes straight from the horse's mouth: Google itself. Danny Sullivan, their main search liaison, basically came out and said it. Google is showing more Reddit content because that's what people want. Users are literally typing Reddit at the end of their searches to find real, unfiltered human opinions. Google is just following the signals that we, the users, are giving them.
And if you look at it from a technical SEO perspective, Reddit is an absolute powerhouse. It has an insanely high domain authority, which means new posts get indexed by Google almost instantly. All the constant comments and replies keep the threads fresh in Google's eyes. The discussions use the exact same natural language and long-tail keywords that real people are searching for. And all those upvotes and replies? Those are powerful engagement signals that scream to Google's algorithm, hey, pay attention, this is valuable stuff.
Now, because everything has changed, we really have to unlearn the old playbook. So let's move on and debunk some of the biggest myths that are still floating around about Reddit SEO.
The first, and honestly the biggest myth, is that the whole point is to get backlinks. The reality? Pretty much every link on Reddit is no follow, meaning they don't pass that direct SEO juice. The real value isn't the link itself, it's the trust signals it creates. We're talking brand mentions, real human referral traffic, and discussions that show genuine interest. These are the signals the new AI models are hungry for.
And this leads us right into the next myth, that Reddit is just another marketing channel for you to blast your message. It's not. It is a community hub. The culture there is fiercely protective, and it has a built-in defense system, downvotes, to punish blatant self-promotion. If you treat it like a billboard, you'll be ignored at best and probably banned at worst.
And finally, this idea that you can use some old SEO hacks to game the system, that's just totally wrong. Success on Reddit has zero to do with tricks and everything to do with cultural fluency. You have to understand Reddit, you have to respect the rules of each individual subreddit, and you have to get that unwritten rule, which is provide genuine value long before you ever think about asking for something in return.
Okay, this brings us to the absolute core of this whole thing. Exactly how are these conversations on Reddit training Google's AI and shaping its understanding of your brand?
To really get this, you first need to understand the concept of a brand entity. Just think of it like this. It's Google's internal profile on your brand. It's not just a list of keywords. It's a complex, machine-based understanding of what your brand is, what people really think about it, and what its reputation is in the wild.
So let's walk through how this actually works. It starts with data ingestion. Thanks to that licensing deal, every single brand mention, product review, and conversation on Reddit gets fed directly into Google's language models. Then comes entity mapping. The AI chews on all this information and updates its brand entity for your company. It's learning the context, the sentiment, the good and the bad. And finally, it all comes together in AI summaries. When someone asks Google a question, your brand can show up in that AI overview with a summary that is directly shaped by those real conversations on Reddit.
So, knowing the stakes, how do we actually get involved? Let's move into a practical, strategic blueprint for doing this the right way, ethically and effectively.
A really simple but powerful guideline is the 30-day rule. Before you even think about mentioning your brand, spend at least a month just being a good community member. Lurk, read the rules, get the vibe, and focus on adding helpful comments to other people's posts. This is how you build up karma, which is basically Reddit's street cred. Only after you've built that foundation of trust should you even consider mentioning your brand, and only if it's genuinely helpful.
And how do you prove that any of this is actually working? Well, you have to track the right KPIs. And no, it's not just about referral traffic. Though you should definitely track that with UTM tags. It's about measuring the bigger picture. Are more people searching for your brand by name? Is your brand starting to pop up in AI overviews in a positive light? Is the general sentiment around your brand improving? These are the metrics that show you're actually having an impact on your brand's entity.
And hey, remember, this is a two-way street. Don't just think of Reddit as a place to post. You should be using it as a real-time research engine. Go into relevant subreddits and search for phrases like, "How do I solve?" or "I'm struggling with," to find the exact pain points of your audience. You'll uncover the real words they use and get endless ideas for content that actually helps them.
This all leads us to our final, and without a doubt, most important section. This is the core principle that should guide every single thing you do on the platform.
So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Treat Reddit as a community first, and a marketing channel a very, very distant second. Your goal should be to become a helpful, trusted member of the communities you want to serve. Answer questions, share your expertise, and give value without expecting anything back. If you do that, your brand will grow organically in a place where most of your competitors are either totally clueless or just doing it all wrong. And that leaves us with one final question to chew on. In this new AI-driven world, millions of conversations are happening every single day that are defining how machines, and by extension future customers, see your brand. So you have to ask yourself, is your brand's reputation being written by you through authentic participation, or is it being written for you by everyone else?